Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. This is, Black History Month. A lot of things are happening all over the place. And, last week we had Mr. Tolliver here. He was telling us about Montgomery County as one of our neighbors around in this area and what happened as far as the Civil War is concerned. And the other thing, he's talking about some relatives of mine back there in the 1700s. And I could hardly believe it. I was at a birthday party and met him, and we talked, and he's been on here twice. And we're going to continue with this with Mr. Tolliver. Mr. Tolliver, give the people an idea of your background and your association with this gentleman that's back there. What, William Brown? William Brown is the guy that we're highlighting here. He is the one that lived in the Germantown area. He lived in a little place called Brownstown section of Montgomery County. A lot of you are not familiar with it, but he's going to tell us a little bit about what went on during the Civil War, the types of things that Mr. Brown and his family has been doing out there at Brownstown. Welcome to the Ed Brown Show.
Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank you, man. This is a pleasure, basically being here to share my family with you. And
our family.
Our family, yes, indeed, our family. It's this. I've been, really searching and getting more information about our family since 2005, since my first family reunion in Germantown. And the real family historian is my cousin named Jerry Green, and he's passed down this information to me. But I was so intrigued behind the fact of, when I was coming up, I had no clue of, of
your origin.
Of my background.
Right.
It was, due to the fact that my mother, who left Germantown at a very, very young age as a teenager, we didn't get back up there, and I think it had a lot to do with some pain, from the reason for the reason she had to leave. But once I got some of the information, a new world opened up for me.
Sure.
I'm also a substance abuse counselor. I do fitness education, but as a substance abuse counselor, also that was one of the reasons I needed to find out what my background was and stuff. They say when you come, and I was a substance abuse user for years, for over 30 years in my life. I've been counseling for the last, since 2002. But the thing is and stuff, I wanted to say, well, they always said that our DNA, that drug use and alcoholism was passed down. So I went to research my family history based on that. And when I went back in time, I found out that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
We just got caught up in that, in my era, but that wasn't the case. My people, had some history, and I wasn't aware of what type of history. All I knew about my uncles and aunts, but that was it. Right. Now we did have an Uncle Frank Brown that used to come through. But I was like, I didn't connect him with where the Brown came from. I did not know he was my grandmother's baby brother, in which my grandmother passed away and Cora Brown in 1935. She was only 46 when she passed away. She was born in 1889. And so she passed away at a very young age, so I never got to meet my grandparents. But she was the daughter of William Brown Jr., and William Brown Jr. was, William Brown Jr. and Elizabeth Campbell. That was I'm a Campbell too, but William Brown Jr.'s father was William Brown. And if I can read this real quick, in the late 1900s, there was a small community of blacks living on the Donstown Germantown Road on Route 118, not far from Old Germantown. Named Brownstown after William Brown, which is my grandfather, who lived in a log cabin in the area. The community had a schoolhouse and a church by 1878, who he basically donated the land for both. Matter of fact, church was first, before the church was built, they had church in his house. And before the school was built, they had the school in the church. The first
and then land, he purchased land, what was it?
He purchased 10 acres of land for $300.
$300.
Yeah, $300 back in the day. And he, and several family members still live on that land today.
Right.
And there's also a cemetery, Asbury United, and it's the church that's built on the land that he donated land to, the land acre to have the church built. It's called Asbury United Methodist Church, and we have homecoming services every year, and we celebrate, and everybody's in the church is family members, and the cemetery that sits on the side is full of my family. But it says too, the first church services for members of the community were held in Mr. Brown's cabin, built of logs on 10 acres of land, which he purchased in 1864.
Right.
In the 1970s, the Brownstown Historical District was placed on the Montgomery County Atlas of Historical Sites as a potential historical district, subject to additional research and presentation to the Historical District Commissions for review. In reviewing, after they reviewed it, they said they decided that the area lacked sufficient contributions for historical resources to warrant designation. The house belonging to William Brown was dismantled, check this out, and moved to the Lathrop Smith Outdoor Educational Center in 1979 for use today in the Pioneer Homestead Program. The building is now the property of the Maryland National Capital Park Planning Commission. The Brownstown Schoolhouse, which still stands on Route 118, you can barely see it, is abandoned and in poor condition. The building had been evaluated for placement for a master plan, but it never happened. But but the commission also says they've left because the area's history, black settlements, some type of historical marker might be considered. Now, that's what my family and I are trying to do, getting together now, a committee so that we can get a marker put on the road that says Brownstown.
Brownstown.
Yeah. But the interesting
part.
But
right now, you don't have any indication that
we don't have
a
marker, but it's on the map.
But it's on the map.
Yeah. And matter of fact, it was interesting. One time I was lost, and a cab driver gave me a map. And I didn't pay attention to what was on the map till the next day. When I looked on the map, it said Brownstown. Every time I heard, that I was a part of something. Now here's the interesting part. Right. The feeling that I get, that I get, is so overwhelming that I teach it at the treatment program that I work at because I try to. That feeling is a high.
Right. Definitely.
That I used to search for with that bad stuff.
Right.
This high was 20 times higher. And I realized at that point, when I realized, that feeling hit me, there was never a time that I had to go looking for anything else. I found it, and I found it in my family.
Tell us a little bit about the settlement of the different European the Germans and the Irish, you were saying, as far as slavery was concerned.
That was interesting. Yeah, matter of fact, we were freed by a family called the Gassaways, right? Gassaways were a German family. And the Gassaways and the Gotts family, they freed their slaves. Now, the Irish, they didn't free them. And Germantown split. People who used to go to church together stopped going to church together. They stopped going to the stores together. They stayed.
This was the two European.
They basically
the Germans and the Irish.
Right, and some people fought for the Confederate, which was right across the river, and some fought for the Union. I mean, it just split the whole town. Matter of fact, when you in Sandy Springs, there's a museum called the Georgiana Campbell African Slave Museum, which Campbell's and stuff I'm related to too. But they speak to that.
What you're trying to do, trying to get the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission to
put a sign,
a marker
right.
on the church and the land there. Is that
Right,
correct?
right. Well, just right there on the street, right there by the church, where basically when family comes, and hopefully, by our reunion in September, we have, a committee together which we can get assistance, and also the president of of Germantown Historical Society, Susan Soderberg, who wrote the history of Germantown. In the book that I had, she basically will be, will be assisting us.
And you're in the process of writing a book on it.
Oh, man,
Tell
yeah.
us a little bit about that.
The book is it's an interesting title. And I call it. I'm trying to entitle it. I keep finding me.
Keep finding me.
Keep finding me. I found me first in 1798.
1798.
I found me in 7. These are the birthdays of my ancestors, because years ago, I never forget, my mother told me something that was real interesting. My first summer job, when I, and I had my first paycheck, I never forget, her birthday was a month before mine. My birthday came, I got a present for her birthday. On my birthday, she got me a present, and then she said, "Where's mine?" I said, "What are you talking about? Where's yours? I got yours last." She said, "No, sweetie. When you were born, I was reborn." I said, "Whoa, that's deep."
Right.
And she explained to me and stuff, how, I was like, she celebrates so many birthdays. Every time her mother's birthday, she celebrated her
All
birthday
of
because
them. Yeah.
she was born then,
Right.
just hadn't got here at that time.
Yeah. Well, how do you associate that with the substance abuse?
Substance abuse.
Now, do you think that's a good thing for them to get exposed to?
Yeah, you know why? Because we're so, for the most folk are associated with just their immediate family. Don't think they have a tree that goes wide.
Right.
And when I share this with them, I watch how they get excited about me. So I said, imagine that's you. And what it is and stuff, when you just believe that, my family is dysfunctional. And I don't think you like using the word dysfunction. I just say it's functions based on how, the circumstances and the situations that's at hand at that time, But once they basically become aware that it's more to them than just, what they see in front of them, that's why I say I keep finding me. I found me in Tallahassee, Florida. I can find me in Lynchburg. I can find me in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're all over, and the more you see yourself, see someone in your family that you didn't think that you could be related to, and then it tells you stuff. If this is my DNA, that's in me.
Sure.
I'm not going to be stuck on what I became as far as when it came to the substance abuse piece. And I said one of the things we abuse and stuff when it comes to the substance abuse is not what you use. It's impossible to abuse that. You abuse this, and when you basically start messing with your head, and you basically you draw yourself farther and farther away from who you really are. But when you start, I gave a member one time a document. Where I looked his information up on Ancestors.com. And he belonged to a family that has this part of Pratherstown up in Montgomery County. He disappeared. I said, "Oh, I done messed up." But what happened, he said, "How could I sit back? After I got that information, there's no way possible I can sit back and act like I can't when my whole family say I can't."
Okay, we got to wrap this up. Tell us some of the things you're doing with the youth, with the substance abuse, and some of the things that you are going to do in the future as far as Black history. Let some of that material out to other people.
Well, on the 26th of this month, I'll be joining Pastor Reverend Wilson at Union Temple Baptist Church. We're going to be doing the genealogy piece. And we're hopefully and stuff, we'll start a ministry, ancestral ministry.
Well, you got a little background on Ed Brown. Hey, the Browns are everywhere.
Yeah.
And Mr. Tolliver here is working with the youth, the substance abuse. And really, this is what we need to do. We need to pass this on to the younger generation. Most of them have been spoiled because it's our fault because we give them everything. But we got to make them understand there's more work to be done. I'll see you in a second. We got Mr. Spears here. He's going to talk about a lot of things you'll be interested in. So don't go away. Hey, welcome back. We have Donnell Spears here from Elite. Now we're talking about business, and you know that's my big thing. You know, entrepreneurship. And Mr. Spears here has a terrific program, which I think all of you should take time, sit down, and listen to it. Hey, Mr. Spears, welcome back to Ed Brown Show.
Thanks so much, Mr. Brown.
And I tell you that entrepreneurship is the answer to all the problems. What that great poet say, if you're not free unless you're economically free.
Economically
and
free.
This is what entrepreneur leads to. Tell us about it. Coming up the 26th of the month.
Yes, well, actually the 25th, which is a Saturday of February, we're going to be having a big event at Pohanka. Actually, it's going to be at Pohanka Volkswagen Showroom.
Capitol Heights.
Yes. I am the CEO of EliteConversations.com, and we support small business owners, in particular those small business owners that make less than $50,000 a year. And that's about 3 million right here in the
3 million in this area.
in the DMV.
Oh,
so
wow.
one of the things
Great.
we try to create is an opportunity for them to have a place where they can share their information, they can receive information and resources and the business connections that they need. So once every quarter, we do something called Entrepreneur Night. Entrepreneur Night is a great opportunity. We share the information there with individuals who come, and it's more than just networking. So when you come, you have your information. We give you an opportunity to share your information on site, on live stream. We also have speakers to share expertise in terms of certain areas of business. For this Entrepreneur Night, we'll be talking about taxes. We're getting into that season.
Talk about taxes.
Yeah, social media.
Hey, tell your president about that.
Yeah, that's true. So we really enjoy the opportunity to be able to share with business owners. So this will be a great event because it's also going to be an opportunity for the first time that we'll be able to share with other business owners.
Oh, wow. Somebody want to join us already. I tell
Glad
you,
to hear that.
they let me know. Say,
Yeah,
hey, wait a minute, Ed.
how can
Say,
I get there?
I'm involved in that. Tell us a little more.
Yeah, so Entrepreneur Night we're going to have partners to help us out. Pohanka Volkswagen, I apologize, has graciously provided the hosting facility for this particular event. So it's going to be in the Pohanka Volkswagen showroom in Capitol Heights, Maryland, and it's going to be a great opportunity for individuals to come out. We have Chick-fil-A that's going to be a part of the event, as well as
Chick-fil-A. Oh, wow.
So we have some great partners to provide a great environment for entrepreneurs. And one of the things that we're going to be doing that's really, really important is we have something called the Knowledge Zone. So we'll have experts there. So if you need information, again, in taxes, social media, raising funds, you'll actually be able to sign up there at the event and to get a free 10 to 15-minute consultation with individuals that can answer some of your questions that you might have as a new or small business owner.
What about the youngsters now? How do you get them involved in entrepreneurship? You know?
Well, I think that's important. One of the things, the theme for this entrepreneur event is going to be a 2-day, the weekend event, and we are including educational institutions. So as a part of it, Entrepreneur Night, we're actually going to have businesses that are going to be sponsoring juniors and seniors that are in School of Business at Maryland University.
Great.
And Bowie State University, as well as Prince George's Community College. So it'll be an opportunity for them to come and just to have an initial exposure to entrepreneurs and those that are already in the world, and maybe even pick up a couple of mentors while they're there.
Right.
And they will also have an opportunity to sit down with some of the entrepreneurs just to talk about, hey, what did you do? How did you get started? So it's a great partnership. Again, this is a 2-day event. The night before, we're actually having a private event, which is going to include business owners in the Prince George's County area, school principals in the Prince George's County area, and a few government officials. And we're just going to have a roundtable just to talk about 3 issues. One is economic development and just what the climate is like in Prince George's County, because I feel like it's a great opportunity right now for small business owners to start a business and to really excel in the business world. The second thing is we want to talk about youth, how we teach our kids about entrepreneurship and generational wealth. and how businesses can be a part of that and how they can support the high schools in terms of providing sponsorships for sports or whatever. And then the last thing will be collaboration and between the businesses. How can we push and promote businesses towards each other so that we can keep that dollar generating in Prince George's County as long as possible.
Right.
So instead of a part of a business having their own promotion in terms of what they do, they can also be a part of promoting maybe another business that might not be in competition but be in the same industry that they are, and support each other that way. So it's going to be an awesome night that night, and really looking forward to that. And then we'll have the fun on Saturday. We're going to have catering. We're going to have businesses there. We're going to have indoor golf. I have one of my partners.
Golf? Oh,
yeah, I have a great partner as part of Elite Conversation that owns
Yeah.
a mobile golf, so you'll be able to come in and putt on the golf greens while you're there. But more importantly, we'll be sharing information, building relationships, and really using that night to push people forward, to push small businesses forward.
And yeah, I noticed you're talking about the principals and the businessmen, because I think it's very important that they get together, because the things that the type of training that the youngsters will need, the principals can install it in their school curriculum. Because see, you gotta have some kind of background, and you know where you're going. And with the businesses, and if the business would mentor a group of students, that would be an idea too.
Excellent.
Or school. They
Absolutely.
may pick a school, or either a school can earn the the ability to come to the conference there.
Yeah, and that's a passion of mine, because I think it's important for kids to get out of the classroom and actually go and mentor
and see
be in
what
that
the real
environment.
world is like. You know what I mean? And if you want to prepare yourself, then you got to. Because I know in some businesses, is my my grandson. He want to be a veterinarian. He was in 11th grade. Okay, so his father got him a mentor, a veterinarian. And for the weekends, and he worked weekend, and then he decided he didn't want to be a veterinarian.
But at least he got a chance to really go and
see,
experience
that's so
it. Yeah.
very important.
That is important.
And see, that's the emphasis with so much building going and coming up in Prince George County with the hospital. Hopefully, I said that real loud. Hopefully, the FBI will be coming in, but we don't know what the president's going to do now. Big change. But all of those projects, they bring in businesses and jobs. Because see this, and the type of businesses that I'm not talking about the fast food industry. Just like I was thinking about MGM. They're working with the community college, preparing young people, and I say preparation for the CEO jobs. You know what I mean? Not just the low-level paying jobs. See, and the youngsters, they have to get that information, because some of them don't. They want to get into a field, they don't even know that much about it, because they're not being mentored. See, so mentoring the young people, because they can say one thing, but when they get that exposure to the actual thing, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, and I know from experience, growing up as with a single parent. My mom and father passed real young, so my mother was good at putting us in environments where we could get exposure. I had uncles in Philadelphia and New York that had their own business, car businesses. I had an uncle in North Carolina. She would send me there in the summer. That built homes, so I knew and I seen what entrepreneurship looked like at a young age. So I had that energy and had that exposure early, and I think that's important for young kids to see. And even on the food level. And I'll mention his name. I think a lot about Keith Singletary, who's one of my good friends with Chick-fil-A, They do an outstanding job with the kids that are working there over the summer, that are working there even throughout the year, exposing them to things more than just serving inside of the restaurant, but he's taking them on trips, exposed them to opportunities in marketing and all that good stuff, and they do an outstanding job.
And business
disciplining their
conferences
kids.
like the one that you have developed, this is the type of things that they really need, the exposure.
Absolutely.
They need to talk to some of these entrepreneurs that's out there, you know, that's proven, you know, this can be done. But there's certain qualifications you have to have.
Absolutely.
And see, they have to realize that, see. And some of them don't. They feel they just walk out and somebody give them a CEO job. No way, you know. That's going to happen. But emphasizing that in your conference, well, that is the thing that's important. I look and think about the young people. Exposure is the key.
It is.
And the more businesses that we can get to mentor the youngsters, it's very, very important. See, and I like to commend your group for going that way. You know. Because that is really needed for the future. Tell us a little bit more about when it's going to be and where.
Again, it's going to be Saturday, February the 25th. It's going to be in Capitol Heights, Pohanka Volkswagen showroom, right near the new Dave & Buster's. I'm pretty sure that's exit 15 right off of the Beltway. Saturday from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. So definitely get there early. You'll get a chance to definitely share your information, share your story, get a chance to learn a lot about what's going on in Prince George's County, because a lot of the individuals that are going to be there Friday night will also be there Saturday night. So we have some good officials and those that are experts in the county to share information.
What about churches? Are they participating? Most churches have programs like that.
Absolutely.
They try to get youngsters to get involved in.
Absolutely, yes. My church, First Baptist Church of Glenarden, does a lot with
First
the youth.
Baptist.
Yes, I'm always proud to say that.
Oh, yeah.
And I will be there
Pastor
to represent.
Jenkins.
Pastor John K. Jenkins.
I mean, and he's fantastic.
Yes, he is. Fantastic.
The things that he and First Baptist has done for the area have been fantastic. They really have done a good job of reaching out to the young people. I think that is very positive. And your organization, Elite, when is your next function after the February one?
Well, we do that every quarter, so the next one probably will be in June.
In June. So look out for Elite, you know, because they're going to bring us some information on entrepreneur. And hey, look, like I said, you got to get into the business world. That's where everything happens. See you next time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right seat to make sure your child is protected.